It's awesome.
Thank you. For you guys don't know, we are going to interview Hank here. If you don't guys don't know, I've been on a couple of his podcasts. He's a huge gun guy, loves
Yeah.
guns. Automatic guns are the best, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I,
Hank,
I, I am literally a fat guy. I don't know if I'm huge in terms of the gun guys on YouTube, but I am huge in girth, at
oh
least.
hey, the ladies love girth, from what I've been told.
Hey, I'll take whatever I can get, man.
Yes,
I'll take
sir.
whatever I can get.
Yes, sir. So, introduce yourself here as Hank Strange. Please tell us how you got started in YouTube and your hobbies in getting into guns and promoting weapons, magazines, accessories, and all that kind of stuff. How'd you get started?
Well, basically, I'm an artist. That's what I do, and I've been,
Musician, right?
no, not a musician. I can't read or play music. I do make the music that's on my channel, but it's all electronic stuff, programming. I use the software Reason, and that's how we make music. But I'm a digital artist. I do a lot of different things, including editing, making videos, music, and things like that. And I've always been into guns since I was a little kid, but I was never in the right place where I could legally do it until I moved to Florida. So, and I moved to Florida. That was one of the big reasons why my family actually moved to Florida, so I can, Florida's a free state, man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you can get all up in the guns. So I moved here for that reason. Got caught up because my kids were young and stuff like that. And as they were getting older, and I started getting into it, I decided, you know what, if because I'm relatively new to guns. My channel's about 4 years old. It's
Okay.
older than that. I was doing other things in the past. I've done hip hop music and stuff like that, but the gun stuff I've been doing for 4 years. So what I decided to do was share my journey with people in
Mm-hmm.
guns. So, as I'm learning about guns, I'm sharing that with people, and I decided to make videos and all that kind of stuff and put it out there. I think recording yourself is a good way to see what you're doing when you're using guns.
Right.
And then so I'm just recycling it, man, not letting any of my mess ups and my horribleness with guns go to waste and putting it out in the universe.
Right. Now, you just don't do just guns. I mean, like weapons in general,
Yeah.
knives. You don't do like claymores, rocket launchers, or I know you got some friends that's got some stuff, and I see old Walter in the comments. So shout out to Walter there.
Yeah, I'm into all that stuff. I would do anything, man. We would do ordinances, as
Mm-hmm.
soon as if we get it, we'll do it. Anything related to it, I'll do. I've done some knife stuff. I really my channel is a lifestyle channel, so I just do whatever the hell I'm into. I'm into cars, guns. I'm into women, but I'm not putting pornos up on there at this point. Not at this point. I have to get
Right.
approval from Lola before we go to that level. So.
Yes, Lola is a lovely lady. I've spoken to her a couple times. Lucky man, sir. Lucky
Thank
man.
you. I appreciate that. I mean, we're in the same club, in the club of marrying well. Shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to Miss Cherry Wine. I hear her in the background playing some kind of game. You said, right?
Right. She's actually sitting right on the other side of the couch right
Oh,
here,
okay.
and she's playing Call of Duty right now, Black Ops
Cool.
3.
Okay.
There you go. She says hi, everybody.
What's up?
Heck says what's up. So
Yeah.
you did music,
Hmm.
and then you got into guns, and then you wanted to share your experiences with uh, variety of people throughout the world.
Hmm.
And you're doing those kind of things. What is one of the most intriguing things that you have found since you've gotten into the gun world? I know full auto is like totally awesome and everything. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, but
Right.
have you really found anything that's really just floated your boat in the weapons realm in the world of doing that kind of stuff?
Um, y- well, so you talking about like what really motivates me or the kind of stuff that I like?
Yeah.
I think it's like art, right? If you're collecting art or whatever, if you want to get into the stock market, the best advice people can always give you is, buy the stocks that you like. If you like this company, if you
Mm-hmm.
buy Apple products, buy Apple stock, right? And I think it's the same thing with art. People say, buy the kind of art that you're into. So with guns, I buy the kind of guns that attract me, that I'm interested in. I found that I have a fetish
Oh
for
yes.
bullpups. I like the bullpups.
Yes, I saw
So
the
I
one
did.
you did a deal or something with Babyface, and he broke your bullpup. Or wait a minute, his now bullpup that
Well,
used to be
I
yours.
sold him an RFB. I have two of them. I have two
Okay.
RFBs. I have a Hunter, which is like the RFB it's from Keltec, and it's a 308
Mhm.
bullpup rifle. And there's one that's a 24-inch barrel. That's the Hunter. And then
Mhm.
I also had a 16-inch barreled one, and I wound up selling that to Babyface P. And
Right.
it was pretty cool. It was OD green and all that kind of stuff. And he blew it up. He blew the back out. He put a suppressor on it and didn't adjust it for it's got the RFB has a
Ooh.
very complicated gas system. It's got about 60 clicks or something like that, a lot of clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's so you're supposed to adjust it if you put a suppressor on there. He didn't do that, and he eventually blew the back out of it.
Oh, by the
So
way, Walter, just shout out, sir.
yeah, I see you're wearing a Safety Harbor shirt there, man.
Yes,
What's going
I actually
on? And
got
you
off
got the
work
OD
earlier.
green too.
Yeah, shout out to Walter there.
Yeah.
So what really draws your attention towards the bullpup style weapon versus like AK, AR, and those or like the old style rifles from then the army, the Mosins and all that stuff? Why? What really was your fancy to get to the bullpups?
I think the reason why I have a thing with I like all kinds of guns, man.
Right, right.
I see guns and cars and women is the same. I don't discriminate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I do have a particular thing when it comes to bullpups because my dad was trained and educated as an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And so growing up in a family like that, he always had Popular Mechanics, Popular Science magazines around as a kid. I looked in those things and I saw these futuristic guns called bullpups.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it kind of like represents the future, and that's the thing that I now. Of course, bullpups have been around since the 50s,
Right.
and some people don't accept it. I don't think it's used. It's not widely used by our military. Maybe in like special ops stuff.
Or police. It's really not.
No, I think there are some police departments, at least some SWAT departments here in America that do use some bullpups. They use the Tavor and X95 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part here in America, no. In Europe and other places around the world, yes. But I just like the futuristic kind of thing of it. I'm a Glock guy, and I don't
Yes.
modify my Glocks. And I'm into ARs, and I do build ARs, and I do buy ARs, and those are the staples for me. So I completely believe in them. But
Right.
I just like the kind of like the edginess and futuristic side of bullpups, and it keeps things interesting for me. So I like the design, I would say.
Yeah, and they're compact,
Mhm.
and the whole redesign of it, it really gives it a different aspect. Now, do you find a bullpup is easier to shoot? Because you're what, 6 foot?
5'11".
5'11"?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a little bit average bigger hands. So
Mhm.
do you find it from, an AR is out here versus, up a little close? Do you think that gives you more control? Is that a more of a favorite thing that you like?
It changes the balance of everything. It doesn't really make a huge difference to me. I think a bullpup is good, to swing it, or if you're in a vehicle or something like that, it might give you an advantage. Or if you want something that takes up a shorter, like as a shorter package, but still a normal length barrel.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not SBR, short barrel rifle.
Right.
I think that bullpups are cool for that. You don't have to get the paperwork and everything. But you know, I don't see, there are huge differences between them, but really I shoot so many guns that I don't really see. I think it really depends. You can get an AR pistol and get something that's shorter. You can build an SBR and get something that's shorter. There's all these things that matter. For example, if you put a suppressor on a bullpup, now it's longer. You can get SBR bullpups.
Right.
So, there's a lot of different options there. So I really don't see, for me, I just like, there's just certain things that I'm attracted to, and I can't completely put my finger on it. Like, I like reverse trikes. So I
Right.
like three-wheeled vehicles, but not where you have one wheel up front and two in the back.
So you like that new Spider that's out?
Yep, I like that. I like the Can-Am. There's lots of things like that. So I dream about those things. So I think it's just one of those kinds of things, and probably the place out there that you've seen Bullpups the most for your audience would be in video games and movies, right?
Yes.
So
they're starting to become more prevalent in the stuff now. Like you guys know, I do video games. That was my main thing on YouTube that I do. The new Call of Duty is based around World War II, so you're not going to see anything from like World War II.
No, because I think the first Bullpups came around, and Walter would know better than me on this because he's the Anglophile.
Oh yeah,
and so we're going to.
He's in the comments there, by the way. He says the rocket launchers are mine.
Yeah, we're going to talk to him about. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be the topic of our show. That like why is Walter such a big Anglophile? And if you guys don't know what that is, you could look it up.
He's lubericious.
Walter hates that, but I think this design started in England somewhere in the 50s. So it's either like I think it was the mid 50s, somewhere in there.
Right.
So yeah, you wouldn't get it in that new game.
Right. Now, since you had said that, let everybody know about your channel, your podcasts, and how you got started and all that too, because I've got a separate total audience on YouTube. Mine's, like I said, mine's around gaming and all that kind of stuff. I'm branching off into guns and vlogs and stuff, but for everybody that's on my side, my audience, let them know, what all you're doing.
Well, we're in lots of different social media. What we do when you create content. I'm a content creator. When you create the content, you have to also generate an audience. So we use social media for that, and we're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and pretty much most of the social media that's out there. But mainly what we do is create content for YouTube. I'm also on Full 30, and we do what you would call kind of like reviews. We do fun videos around guns, educational stuff, reviews, just whatever we feel about guns. Sometimes I do some car stuff. I just do whatever I want to on the channel, and then. So we have those what I call regular videos where we're looking at different guns or building guns and things like that. And then we're doing a podcast now, which goes live on YouTube. And then we strip out the audio and put that on iTunes. And that goes for a couple of hours. And we just talk about whatever we want to: politics, guns, cars.
No, that's Monday through Friday. You usually go right around 6 o'clock. Now, tonight you're running a little late, but you are doing a podcast tonight at 8 o'clock. Yeah,
we start somewhere
between. The link is in the description if you guys want to catch that tonight.
Yeah.
His YouTube link is there.
Yeah, it's YouTube/Hank Strange. I haven't created it yet because obviously we're doing this.
Yes. But, so thank you for coming on real quick. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, you're welcome, man. Thanks for having me on. And thanks for coming on my show all the time. People enjoy you coming on there. Yes, we like your unique take on everything, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have discussions with people, not just in the gun world, but outside of the gun world, and talk about anything that we're interested in. That's where the lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded comes in.
Yes. So with the Locked and Loaded, can we see maybe a Cooking with Hank?
Well, yeah, we could
once a month do like barbecue tips.
I don't
grilling tips.
Maybe
how to cook bacon on the end of a 50 cal with Walter.
Know. Walter will have to do that. I don't eat pork, but I do eat like turkey bacon or beef.
Hey,
bacon.
That works.
Yeah. So we could wind up doing that. It's possible. Actually, I do have a video that I did on cooking something recently, but I have to edit that video and put it up. But yes, whatever craziness I get into is what I do. Sometimes I do training stuff, whatever.
Good deal. Now, in junction with doing the YouTube and the podcast and everything, you actually go to like SHOT Shows and all the other different events and everything. And then you recently went up to Tennessee to Valor Ridge. Could you promote that and let people know your experiences and not just the YouTube aside, but the gun aspect of it?
Yeah. Well,
in conjunction or both.
Yeah, I think anyone that's in the, if you're into guns and you spend money on guns and ammo and accessories and everything around guns, I think one of the things that you owe yourself to spend money on is training. It's incredibly important. You know, you've got lots of people that are into guns that were in the military previously, like you were in the military, or folks that were in law enforcement. I never did any of those things. I think even if you did all that stuff, or even if you just grew up out in the country and your dad or your whole family were all into guns, you've been shooting since you could walk, I think you still owe it to yourself to go out there and get training on all kinds of different levels. And Valor Ridge is in Tennessee. It's in Harrogate, Tennessee. And you can find it by just searching on Google Valor Ridge. And it's owned and run by Reed Henricks. And he's a former Marine and, you know, very intelligent, highly educated guy and a real genuine American, I would say, a real patriot and a gun guy. And I think it's great to take classes from him because, you know, with all the things that he's done and he knows and his experience and all that, he's a very humble guy and gives people lots of value when it comes to training that I'm talking about. And he's also, Patriot Nurse works with him. So they have medical stuff going on. He has other trainers that come in, other former military guys or law enforcement guys. And they do everything from your basic pistol classes all the way up to your advanced pistol rifle classes and all that kind of stuff. So look them up. And when you go there, tell them you heard about it on the TIVANshow and,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
from Hank Strange.
There you go. So you're a firm believer in not just being a average guy. You actually endorse training and all that kind of stuff. It makes you a better shot, a better person, more knowledgeable about just not your weapon, but your environment and what you're doing and your accuracy.
Yeah, you know, the whole thing of guns, the best way for me to put it, guns are an art form, like they're a martial art form. Like karate, taekwondo, whatever, you know, ninjutsu, what I don't know, whatever you're into. It's a martial art form. And I think you owe it to yourself to get instruction from someone outside, someone external from you, and to go out there and actually train with other people and, you know, put yourself under that kind of pressure. Yeah, well, I think it changes everything. You know, you might have one idea in your head of what you need, and you may be 100% right. But the thing to do is to get out there and take, like in this rifle class, you do 1,000 rounds in 2 days. So if you have your rifle, this is whether it's your dream gun or whatever it is, you have this rifle. You don't, if you go buy that gun and just put it up, I think they say a lot of times the average person buys an AR-15, let's say, and by the time they sell it or trade it in for something else, they've maybe put 20 to 50 rounds through it. You know, you don't really know anything about that gun. And if you really got into a situation, lots of us are doing that. If you're doing it just to collect it, well, whatever. But lots of us are doing that. And somewhere in the back of our minds, we're saying, hey, I might have to fight for my life with this gun. And if you want to know whether or not you could do that,
yes,
one of the things you could do is go out there and train for a couple of days in the elements with other people, put 1,000 rounds through it and have to do drills and all that kind of stuff. And you'll find out whether that rifle or that handgun or the accessories you put on it are going to actually work for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who buy handguns for defense and they never shoot it. They literally stick it under the mattress in the cupboard or do whatever just in case, but they never shoot it. And there's a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, and then when they need it, either it works or it doesn't work. Now, that could happen whether you train or you don't train. But if it doesn't work, if you train, then that's going to help you to react to the fact that it's not working.
Right.
So, but if you don't train and if you don't, even if you don't train, even if you train by yourself, if you use that gun, then if you use it enough, you'll know what to do when something goes wrong with it. Because in the heat of the moment, when you have to defend yourself, everything's going to go out of the window, and it's just going to be your natural reactions to everything that's happening to you. And if something goes wrong with that gun, you have to, somewhere in the back of your mind, know what to do. Instead of curling up into a little ball, you have to go to like tap rack or do something, you know. And it's not just that. I mean, just training gives you a whole mindset to keep you out of that trouble that we're talking about. I think that's the biggest part of it. What are the things that you do to avoid that? Because the worst thing really in your life is that moment when you're going to have to defend yourself by taking someone else's life. And I don't know about other people, but I definitely don't want to have that moment.
Yes.
It's not something I'm looking forward to, but it's something that if it ever happens, I want to be prepared.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes,
so,
Well, hey, I know this one to be short because you've got to get set up for your podcast as well. So make sure you guys check out the links in the description below. It'll take you right over to Hank Strange's YouTube page. I will be on the podcast tonight, so make sure you guys check it out. Let's do a quick roll call. Everybody in the comments, real fast. We got Froman, how you doing, sir? Rover, Jareth, JD, Walter, Safety Harbor Firearms, Sponge Call, Tall Paul, Travis, McDover, Dudenator Gaming, Joshua, Kazwiz, or K-Swizz, how you doing, sir? Stefan, everybody, Joe's in the comments. So, real quick, give a shout out to all your stuff here, guy, and we'll let you go, Hank, so we can get started up on your podcast.
Awesome.
Sir.
Thanks for having me, Tyvan, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So you're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Just search for Hank Strange.
Hank Strange.
Just Google it.
Just Google it.
Thank
All right,
you.
sir. Well, thank you again, Hank. I appreciate your time, sir.
You're welcome.
And make sure you guys check out Hank Strange YouTube channel. He does a podcast every day, Monday through Friday, right around 6 o'clock-ish, and does a lot of social media. And he works for Big Daddy Guns, so he's always posting awesome pictures on Instagram and Facebook, some awesome weapons there, and with Walter's stuff there for Safety Harbor Firearms. So thanks, sir, and we'll see you in a couple minutes.
You're welcome. Peace.